What's going on, everyone? My name is Dudo and I'm the Goalie Gear Snob, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about this true 7x3 pad and that true 7x3 blocker. So let's dive into it. So while I have reviewed the true PX3 pads, blocker, and glove before, thanks to those Scott Wedgwood Pro returns, I'm now going to look at reviewing their price point line. So True does have three models of gear that's out there, or three price points I should say. They have their PX3, the 9X3, and the 7X3. The 9X3 and the 7X3 are made overseas, while the PX3 is custom made in Montreal. However, the 7X3 is, while it's made overseas, it still has some great stock features that you would be able to find on the PX3 pad. And while this is the price point pad, it is made overseas, I kind of wanted to see if it would work well for me. So I want to give a huge shout out to my good buddy Mike Beckham, who actually owns this set, who let me take it for a spin. And while he used the pad and found out some cool things he loved and hated on the pad, he asked me to kind of take him for a spin and let me know if I found the same issues as him. So I'm gonna get into that now. So starting off with this blocker right here, I love the all white colorway. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge sucker for those solid colors, but I really like this catalyst graphic here. So first you're gonna see that 7x3 across the sidewall right here, and you're gonna see some of their stock kind of features. So I'm going to throw my hand in here and let you guys know what my thoughts are on it. So they're pretty much going to have their stock straight finger protection, which does have a little bit of a curve on the end, a little bit different than the CCM or the original Lefay predecessors. And that's going to be laced down right here for some extra rigidity. You're going to get pretty much a single layer Nash palm across the fingers. You have a little bit of a double extra layer right here. That's going to help kind of add in that cushion when holding the stick. But for a lot of goalies that are using True gear, they really like those thin Nash palms, so that's where you're going to see stock on this glove here. You're going to see the super open cuff. Actually, I'll just pull my hand out to show you. You're going to see the super open cuff, which is kind of now standard across all the models of gear. And you're going to see this really nice wide open area that velcros on both sides. Just want to call out here that for the stock gear, you're going to see the actual model of blocker that it is. So on the new PX4 and so the subsequent lower models, you're going to see the 615 blocker. This is the 595, which has essentially been a standard for the last maybe 15, 12 years that Lefay has been making blockers. So that's what you're going to see here. There's going to be a few updates through it, of course, but you're going to see that here. And of course, designed by Lefay, not crafted by Lefay. That's how you know it's made overseas. But yeah, really like this blocker here. Really like the performance, really like the feel. And I'm now going to open up True's website here real quick, and I'm going to let you guys know what they say about their blocker. They say it is designed for ultimate mobility. Goaltenders can expect an unmatched fit, comfort, and elite performance benefits that are synonymous with True by Lefay through the Catalyst 7x3 goalie collection. That's really all they say about it. Nothing much more on their website. But when I look at this blocker, I think this is made incredibly well for that $300 price point. I really like the rebounds on it. I really like how things were coming off of the blocker. I really like the feel on the hand, and I really had no complaints about this. I know a lot of people say a blocker is a blocker, but trust me, I've used some bad ones. This is up there with one of the better ones. I really do like it. Palm feels nice and thin on the fingers, pretty solid across the middle of the hand. It might not wear or it might wear out a little bit faster than you can imagine just because of how thin that palm is, but like I said, that's kind of what people like in that True blocker. I really like that. Now getting into some of the negatives of the blocker, the board shape, it's so straight. It just kind of sticks off the hand. It's really odd, doesn't have a lot of curve to it. It just looks a little bit odd sitting on the shelf here when I compare it to the rest of the gear that I have sitting out here. So that's really the main complaint I have on this. Didn't necessarily affect rebounds or anything there, but it's just something kind of odd to look at. But now that I've talked about the blocker and I've talked about how great it has been performing, I want to talk about some of the things that Beckham noticed. And he basically commented on the same thing with a thin palm, with the board shape being a little bit weird. So yes, I found those exact same issues there. But overall, I think it's pretty solid for 300 bucks. So now that I've talked about this blocker, I want to get into the pads. So I have a lot of things to say about this True 7x3 pad right here. Beckham had a lot of things to say on it as well. So did I. Actually ended up modding them for him first to try to fix some of the issues he was having, which kind of led into me using them, which led into this review. But I'm going to take it piece by piece here. First, I absolutely love all white pad. I love the Catalyst graphic. I think it's absolutely phenomenal with the amount of color zones that people can do on it. Super popular amongst the pros, so I really like that look here. But within the all white on their stock pad, they do a fast glide inner edge. And the easiest way to describe the fast glide inner edge is that it sucked. That's the most honest I can be. This fast glide was just not good. That was Beckham's biggest complaint. Felt like when we both dropped down in it that you're just glued to the ice. So to remedy it, we've tried a whole bunch of different things to try to make it work. So he was using Warrior slide plates over top. I did use this with the 3M kind of PPF film that a lot of people have been using and kind of using as a trick. I didn't notice that it helped tremendously just because there's so much more of the sliding edge. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to use it more on the sliding edge or the inside edge. I kind of wanted to try it as is. But the good news is that when I dropped down, I was glued. I had a great seal. Things felt great. I just could not slide. This Fast Glide really felt like sandpaper. While I know a lot of people have liked Fast Glide, I've used Speed Skin before, never had issues with it. I think why it sucked on the 7x3 is because in that lower price point, that $1,100 pad, you're not getting as hard of materials across the inner sliding edge. So this is a slightly more soft HD foam. It's still like an HD 80, but it's not an HD 120. So when you drop down the butterfly, those foams start to compress. I think with the compressed foams and this material here, I just wasn't gonna slide. I've never used a PX3 pad that had Fast Glide, but from what Beck's told me, it's a little bit better. Not quite as good as other materials, but it's still not nearly as bad as this. But now that I've talked about that sliding edge, I'm going to spin it around and show you some of the modifications I've done to the straps. So while I'm talking about the back half of the straps here, I did first want to kind of get into what True says on their website. New for 2023, our Catalyst 7x3 stock goalie pads feature a perfect balance of quality and affordability without sacrificing performance. Designed for ultimate mobility, goaltenders can expect an unmatched fit, comfort, and elite performance benefits that are synonymous with True, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm basically seeing here is that, yeah, it's pretty much built just like their Pro PX3 line, which is absolutely fantastic. There's really no shortcuts that they made. Like, everything looks and feels the same. And when it comes to when I wore these on the ice, they were so comfortable. I absolutely loved how they felt on the ice. It's just something about True pads with how they fit on their leg. It really is unmatched. Like, I get why they put it there. But in terms of some of the modifications I've had to do, I had to really mess with the strapping to get them to work for our legs. So I don't have the thinnest legs. I'm not the thinnest guy. So when it comes to wearing pads, I need the straps to be at their full length, if not a little bit longer. What I noticed here is that the knee strap was fine, nothing crazy there. But this top internal FRS, it really just wasn't long enough to fit my leg, like not even close to fitting my leg. I don't know if it's something that True did on their overseas pads where they shortened the internal FRS straps. I don't know if when we got this set used on Sideline Swap that someone messed with it, I'm not sure. But I literally, for the life of me, couldn't get this FRS strap to fit around my leg, and same on the bottom one. It just didn't work at all. And then I actually had to sew more Velcro, some soft Velcro across the strap here to kind of double it back, because when I pulled it to its regular setting, it was so tight on our legs that the pads just physically couldn't rotate. But one of the mods I did was actually just kind of took another knee lock strap and I just ran it across the top inside right here, and I just got a little clever with holding some Velcro down so the top flap doesn't move around. but really that was the only way I could get it to fit my leg. And again, just like on the old PX3 review, I do not use anything across the bottom FRS. I do have the straps that I could add back on there that I already lengthened, but they're just still so tight on my leg that I just ultimately removed it. So when you strap the pads onto the body, they actually fit pretty well, but it's funny to notice that when you wear the true pads, like there's just 3 straps all next to one another in the middle of the pad. And I just think that's kind of one of their big keys to performance, is how the pad fits on the leg, is that they're controlling the middle of the pad where you need to control it. You're controlling the middle of the leg, behind the knee, just above the calf, behind the knee, and all 3 of these straps kind of engage and help support the pad on the leg. I did not use the nylon strap out of the knee block to come across. I just kind of elected to use the elastic right across here, and everything felt pretty solid. On their stock pads, they do come with prolaces, which is pretty cool, but I don't like any sort of elastic toe ties, so just a nice $5 skate lace works really well to hold that here. Yes, it's about 4 inches of slack, so that when I drop down into the butterfly, the skate goes up to the knot and my skate is all the way down on the inside edge. I do center the toe tie. I don't offset it anymore because I want my leg centered in the channel when I'm standing, and that's the best way to do it there. But that is a quick crash course in this true 7x3 pad. And yeah, so it was great. It was fine. It worked well. But now I'm gonna try to share some on-ice clips so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So on the true 7x3 pad, I had a great experience using it. The comfort was good, the blocker was good, everything felt just like the Pro. But when it came to the on-ice performance, that's where you could really feel the difference. I was not a fan of the Fast Glide material. I thought the blocker palm was a little thin. Not that I hated using it, but I could just eventually seeing it wear out. I didn't necessarily love that blocker board shape as it kind of sits there. But after I've used it on the ice, I really felt that the comfort was there, everything was working great, and that's basically what Beckham told me as well, was that the comfort was there, everything looked exactly like how you would think it would work, and it was working great, except just when you drop down. That slide wasn't there, the blocker just felt a little bit, you know, like just like that palm was gonna wear out. So him and I were kind of experiencing those same things there. And as you're seeing in these clips on the ice right here, you can kind of see me fight the pad where I drop down, I'm just kind of just glued to the ice. Moving into RVH, I felt slow just because I felt like the pad was taking forever to get there, almost like my balance was going over top of my body. And yeah, it just was a really weird kind of ice time and usage with it. So I wasn't overly in love with the actual performance, but the fit and comfort was there. So just to summarize here and just to talk about it, if you are a kind of like the value level goalie that you want that true gear, but you might not want to be paying the full made in Canada price, I actually think this is a fantastic version of it if you can do something to try to help that slide. Or maybe if you purchase a 7x3 and 9x3 from some of the retailers that have special makeups or SMUs of those pads that have special colorways where they take the Fast Glide off, I think that would be even better. Or if you're like myself that likes to mod and tinker and you would like to try to do something special to that inside sliding edge to make it a little bit better, I think that would actually be pretty fantastic and work pretty well for you. Overall, would I recommend this set? Yes and no. I think if you can modify it and make it work, it would be, you know, it would work well for you, but I just don't think off the bat that it's going to be working for everyone. I know that there's a lot of this gear left at the retail level, and specifically at the time of recording of this video, there's a lot of that gear out there in clearance for a deal. So I think it'd be worth for people to be able to go purchase it and try it, because you would be getting a pretty good value product, and you would be getting some, you know, good value there. And as long as you tinker with it, I think it'd be working pretty well. I really liked how thin the thigh rise was. I like the ability to overlap. I love the size. Also, it took me the entire video to tell you that yes, they are 32+2, but I think that size worked out really well for me, and stock, the comfort was there. I absolutely loved it. I just wish that they slid a little bit better. So if you guys are actually interested in trying this gear, I do have an affiliate with Pure Goalie. So if you would like to try to check out some of the 7x3 gear that's left, click the link down below in the description and follow the link over to Pure Goalie and search for the 7x3 or even the 9x3 gear and see if you can pick some up and take it for a spin and see what you think. But now that I've talked about this gear at length, I'd like to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the gear? I know a lot of people have used it. A lot of people have, really like kind of put it out on Sideline Swap to sell it. So I wonder if people have hated it as much as I did, or they loved it as much as I did, or kind of had some of the same issues. But comment down below and let me know what you think. But I just want to thank you guys for watching along. And if you would like to check out any of my other videos on my gear reviews, please click the link down below to follow that playlist as well. But my name is Chris Dudo, and I'm the Goalie Gear Snob, and thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this video. I'd really appreciate it if you liked, commented, and subscribed, and also rang that cute little Liberty bell for some notifications about what I upload to my channel. Please check me out on some of my other social outlets. Are going to be linked down below.